So the CX investment is a subject in itself. What can we consider to be an investment in CX? As you've just brought up an example of investing into a VOC program. So a company could choose to invest into a VOC or journey mapping tool, for instance, and let's say, for argument's sake, they spend $5,000 on it. So they've got this tool now, but as a result of journey mapping, they sign off a project to improve a website. This project goes into the P&L for the digital team. So how can I calculate return on investment for CX, given this project will not have happened if not for a CX intervention? But it's not really a CX project that I own as CX team. Diane, do you have any insights on this?
Yeah, I think it's like any other organization that's a cost basis. So HR, we have a lot of companies, a lot of business units in an organization that that have costs associated. All of them do. I think what's different about what we need to include is we are, yes, identifying those opportunities and launching projects, but it's our responsibility to help the organization build an additive business value model. In other words, you're going to launch a project and you're going to do it cross-functionally, and you're going to have a lot more impact than somebody who's doing it just in a business unit. So I don't really focus on the investment in CX as of yet, because everybody knows the first year or two, you're setting your foundation just like any other business unit would. What I help them focus on is how do we get to the business value from doing that project and changing the customer behavior, changing the organization and how they work, and reducing cost and driving revenue and increasing profitability. I think correlation, to your point, Gabrielle, is good. I mean, it tells a story, but it's not the story that executives really want to hear. Like, that's great, they'll nod their head, but if you want them to invest, you've got to talk about the hard dollars and what the projects you're running are going to bring to you and how you're changing customer behavior that's driving that business result.
Brilliant. Thank you, Diane. We at CXpanda, we explored many different elements that need to be considered when calculating ROI of CX or predicting ROI of CX. Can you give us examples of specific metrics that CX professionals need to consider and think about?
Is that, you're asking that at me?
Yes. Yeah. So you mentioned that for planning purposes, they need to really speak the executive language. What would that language be?
Well, we think there's a big gap between, when we think about a project, the ability for us to identify the measures that we're going to track as a result of changing the experience. For example, how many people don't go to the care and they go to chat? Or how many people actually refer us, not just the number of people or the NPS, but how many people actually came to us through referrals, and how are they different? Are they more valuable? And if we're going to drive sales through improved personalization, that we have to take credit for. So what we're really doing is, for all the things we're going to change, we're putting measures against them. And measures you can put hard dollars against. And so by helping the organization create a structure and a methodology to build business cases that address not only end-to-end, kind of top to bottom, regardless of where the project falls, you can start calculating what the benefits of that project are going to be, and then start tracking it as you go along, talking about the benefits of what you're achieving. So it's really no different than the way the rest of the organization tracks it. Our benefit is that because we're giving people a bigger picture of all the channels and of all the touch points and the top to bottom view, we're able to create that additive business value that can talk about cost, profitability, and revenue.
Brilliant. So the insight that I take away from this discussion is that ROI of CX isn't measured by the tools or the investment into the CX tools, such as VOC or journey mapping. It's measured by the actual business projects that a CX team is able to initiate, facilitate, and execute.
Two separate things. You've got an ROI for your organization. If you're investing money, what's coming out of it from your team, right? Are you having an impact? Are you creating value? Are you giving people new skills? That's that's a return on investment because you're upping the skill level. And then the other part is the ROI for the actual projects you're working on. So I think if we separate those, we're able to talk about the ROI of CX, meaning your team and what you're doing for the organization versus the project and what that's yielding for the organization.
This is
Hold
why I
this
love
thought on
Diane
skills.
Magers.
That's a very important subject that I will definitely come back to. Ian, you wanted to say something.
I just said this is why I love Diane Magers.
I love you too, honey.
Oh, thank you.
You're such a cute bunch. Matthieu, I wanted to address one of Diane's points to you about the CX projects. So skills aside, would you have any examples of successful CX projects in terms of ROI?
I do, and I even made a slide for it to show everyone.
Oh, you're so well prepared. Thank you.
To show everyone how good I am at making slides. Can you see the slide?
It's just a show off. That's all it is.
Just please confirm you can see the
we
slide.
Can.
Right?
Yes. We can.
Oh, fantastic. Well, what Diane was saying is very important to me, and also I'd like to emphasize on the need to work on projects that give direct returns on that investment. It's always very easy to be in a few months able to give an ROI for such projects and not thinking about a 2, 3, 4 years program, because the leaders want numbers and they want results right away, right? So looking at this, I wanted to share with you this smart FAQ case, right? Everyone knows what is an FAQ, this static web page where you have like a list of like 30, 40, 50 articles sometimes, and they are quite dreadful sometimes as a user to click on, right? The smart FAQ not only gives the person, the customer, the ability to find the answer right away thanks to a smart search box, but it also gives the organization the possibility to see which articles are performing, what the customers are saying, so you can really improve and drive self-service for all of those customers. And that's what I wanted to share with you. We had a project of them implementing that smart FAQ. And as you can see on the middle part, at the start of the project, 75% of the users of that FAQ were being self-served, meaning that they could solve their query, their issue, just by looking at the FAQ. So 25% of them would then be moved into a contact, a support ticket, and go through the full process. And only after a bit more than a year, basically, I calculated the average of the last 8 months of performance of that tool. This is 94% of the customers that could help themselves. So now, looking directly into the ROI, when you consider measurements like how many contacts were prevented, what is the cost of one contact, and what is, of course, the license cost of that FAQ, we got a 5.2x of direct ROI per year. Meaning if you keep on going, you keep on getting, of course, that ROI, and you get even more because you have your volumes, hopefully, that keep on going up, and the success is just there. And that is something we could really set up already, this 94% more or less in the first 3 to 4 months of running the program. I just want to highlight, before I pass the word to you again, that this is a direct ROI. We did not calculate what is the impact on CSATs and measure that back to the euro value, but this is there. And also what is important is because now you have less volumes. With the same support team, you also deliver a better experience for each person that is actually contacting you. So that means you have more care, and of course, on the long term, that gives an increase in retention. But yeah, as a direct return on investment, 5.2, which is a really, really, impressive already return on investment.